Whether you know it or not, you probably have some sort of morning routine. Before I became intentional about my morning routine, it usually consisted of hitting snooze a couple of times and then picking up my phone and scrolling through it for 30 minutes and then remembering I had something to do and jumping out of bed in a rush and in a hurry to get downstairs and get my day started. If that sounds like you, stay tuned to find out why an intentional morning routine is important and how you can set one up. Hi, I'm Angela, and welcome to my brand new channel, Befriend and Tend. So why have a morning routine? Well, first of all, it sets the tone for your day. So why not be intentional about it so that you can start your day off on the best foot possible? It takes less bandwidth to figure out what to do because you already know what you're going to do. Our psyches are comforted by routine and sameness. I didn't really realize how important routines are because I always just sort of powered through chaos and still got things done anyway, but that eventually took a toll on me. And it makes sense from an evolutionary perspective because our limbic system is designed to notice difference. It's always on the lookout for threats. So when something is out of the ordinary or not part of our routine, it activates a little bit of anxiety in us as we try to process it and determine whether it's a benign change or a threatening change. And thirdly, you'll feel more confident as you go through your day, knowing that you have set yourself up for success. It also affirms your sense of agency because you've taken control of your morning. You are doing something productive and you're seeing the positive benefits that flow from that. Fourth, you can squeeze in a little self-care or work on a healthy habit. My favorite reason, you can work in a joy break or two and make it fun. You can do something that elevates your spirits. Okay, I just got a new wig and it feels really strange to have hair framing my face and bouncing around like this. So now that you've decided you want a better morning routine, what should be in it? Well, that ultimately depends on you. You can look at other people's morning routines and get some ideas, and I've linked to a couple of them in the description below. Or you can just wing it and create your own based on what you think sounds interesting and meaningful to you. So some popular goals are more productivity, improved fitness, better nutrition, reading, continuing education, training for a marathon, learning a new skill, prayer, meditation, or mindfulness, and writing or journaling, or anything that you can think of that sounds interesting and fun to you. So how do you get started? Well, unless you have incredible self-discipline, I would not recommend starting with a big 2-hour massive morning routine. I would recommend starting with something smaller, like maybe a 20-minute chunk, especially if you are planning to get up earlier. Some people begin their morning routines at their regular wake-up time, and other people try to get themselves to wake up earlier so that they can be more productive or get more done or make sure that they get everything in their morning routine completed. And after you've completed the first 20-minute chunk for 4 to 7 days in a row, then you can consider adding a second 20-minute chunk. My second tip is to not begin your morning by checking your phone or reading your email. The problem with this is that checking your email can knock your own priorities out of your mind and fill your head with other people's priorities. There is plenty of time throughout the rest of the day to take care of other people, but your morning routine is for you. And you don't really want to begin your morning by picking up your phone and scrolling because it's very difficult to control the amount of time that you do that. We all know how addictive the phone is. It's designed to be addictive and to keep us on the device as long as possible. My third tip is to make your morning routine as enjoyable as possible, especially the first 20-minute chunk. I know there's this whole theory about eating the frog first and doing the thing you hate most first in the morning so that you knock it out of the way, and I think there's a lot of relevance to that, but not for your morning routine. I think for me, I like my morning routines to begin gently and then I can move into something that's a little more demanding. But again, everyone's routine is different, and definitely do what works for you. And my fourth tip is to not demand perfection of yourself. I'm thinking about how Let's just take diets, how a lot of times people will go on a diet and then once they do something a little bit wrong or do the slightest cheat, then all of a sudden they throw the whole thing out and they figure that I've already failed, so I keep trying. And that is definitely not an appropriate philosophy for your morning routine. If you find it really hard after 2 or 3 days to stick to your morning routine, then I think that's a sign that there's something wrong with your routine and that you might need to tinker with it in order to help you do it successfully. And my final tip, which is kind of related to some of the other tips, but it's to make your morning routine easy and fun, because you want to do it. You want to establish this habit. And then once it becomes a habit and you feel pretty good about your ability to maintain it, then you can start adding more challenging elements. So what's in my morning routine? My morning routine is the WWWWW plan. And it begins with waking up. What I do when I first wake up is try to immediately become intentional. I give thanks for the day. And this is sort of rooted in when I was a little girl, and I used to say this horrible childhood prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. So when I was a kid and I would wake up, I sort of felt this feeling of ecstasy, like, yay, another day. And so that is sort of what I'm bringing to mind when I do that. But it is, it is sort of an amazing thing to be on this journey of life, and every day is an opportunity to do good and to experience good things. And so I just begin with this sort of mindful attention to that. And then the next thing I do is I start moving and stretching. So now that I'm older, I have a lot more aches and pains and creaks, when I wake up. So I'll rotate my wrists, I'll rotate my toes, I'll stretch, and I'll just sort of, stretch out my body a little bit. And then I'll try and think of one thing that I have to look forward to in the upcoming day. And at least one. I mean, sometimes there's multiple things, but at least one. And if there's nothing that comes to mind, then I'll create one. I'll just think of something little and fun that I can try and work in and do for myself during the day. And the last thing I'll do is a couple of affirmations like, I am enough exactly as I am, and I'm becoming stronger every day. And the second W stands for water. And I will drink a big glass of it. And when I'm drinking it, I sort of envision the way my plants perk up. It's amazing. Like a plant will be a little limp, and then I'll give it some water, and within 30 minutes, it's, all perked up again. I usually feel good after I've had a glass of water. And I don't put anything in my water because I have acid reflux, but I know a lot of people will do lemon or lemon and honey or some sort of mixture in their water. And I don't really think it matters much what you put into your water. I think the important thing is to hydrate. You've been sleeping. You've literally gone for 6 or 8 hours without a drink. The third W stands for walk or work out. Before COVID, I used to have to walk my dog every morning, so that was really nice because I definitely got out of the house. Now my husband is home, and he recently retired as of like a week ago, and so he does a lot of the dog walking. If he does relieve me of the dog walking, then I will do a quick workout video on YouTube. I love yoga with Adriene, and then there's a ton of other 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute workouts that I'll do sometimes as well. And the fourth W is write. I usually do morning pages. I love the idea of Julia Cameron's morning pages. I don't always do 3 of them, but the idea of just spilling whatever is in my head out on paper is really helpful. And then it's just out of my brain, and my brain feels clean and ready to start the day when I get all of the thoughts. And sometimes I'll write about my dreams if I can remember them, or anything else that might be on my mind. And sometimes if I need to, I'll include a more productive writing element in my morning routine, such as working on a blog post or a YouTube script or maybe my monthly newsletter. The fifth element on my list is whatever, and that's where I choose between 3 to 5 different activities, and I'll work on that for the remainder of my morning routine, whatever gets me up to 90 minutes. So Monday is almost always menu planning and planning out the rest of my week. Other things that I typically choose from include caring for all my plants, watering them, clipping all the dead leaves, etc., going through my personal digital images and putting them in some sort of order so that my descendants are just not overwhelmed with this messy chaos of digital pictures. I might sketch and try to improve my drawing skills, or I might reach out to someone by sending them an email or snail mail. So that's it for my morning routine. I hope this video has given you some ideas and generated some enthusiasm for you to create and refine your own morning routine. And if you want some more ideas for elements that can be in your morning routine, you can check out the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button or leave me a comment. I would love to know about your morning routine, what's in it, what works for you, and whether anything in my video resonated. Take care, and I'll see you in a few days.